All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kingscape. AD.
What episode are we on?
You're on your random questions. He said yes right away, but pull up. I don't even know. And I was looking at the channel just right now.
What episode is it?
I didn't look at it.
This is the 57.
57.
Wow, 57.
Yeah, I missed your questions that you don't even know the
I
answer.
haven't even asked the question. Honestly, it's been a couple of episodes.
You throw me off on that one.
That's what I'm here for.
Is it a weird number for you to think that we've been like 57 hours speaking about something right
more
here?
than 15 hours for sure, because there's a couple of episodes more than an hour. But I think it's just. Well, let me first welcome Carlos. Welcome. We went right into the questions, but welcome, Carlos. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm confused, but I'm doing good. We confused ourselves, but
you started with the random questions. Everybody's like, okay, how you doing? Yes.
I'm good. I'm doing really good. I'm happy that we're still doing this, and yeah.
You're ready. You're guns out, like ready to go. Questions out right away.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It just feels weird because. I don't. Just
weird. Why?
I was talking yesterday. They invited me to a live on another channel, in Spanish, and I was talking about and they were like, "Oh, we're just kind of like running out of things to say or whatever." I'm like, "This is just an hour. I've been doing it for 50 hours or more, and we haven't run out of stuff to talk about."
And you know what's crazy? That we do it on the fly. We talk about right before the podcast.
They asked me that question. They asked me that question very frequently. That's a couple of questions like, how in advance do you guys come up with the
topics?
With the topics, I'm like 10 minutes before we start filming. Okay, what should we talk about? And I think it's the best way to do it because that way we can
it's organically,
and not only organic, but also we talk about the current situations, like what is actually happening right now, not only on our lives, but kind of like in the hobby, right? So surrounds the hobby. But yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. We're like dogs chasing a car. Like we're just when we started, I didn't know it was gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
this long.
I think that's what. Anybody that's the key I think about it with us is that we're consistent. I know we miss some time, but it's not to the point where we're 1 year in and 1 year out. 1 year, no, we try to stay consistent.
Yeah.
Through sickness, through whatever we still try to get back at it. Yes. So I mean, I think that's what helps us. And I think anybody else that's starting. Everybody's gonna say that when they first start. I didn't think I was gonna get here. Once they have 100,000 followers, so we're not there yet. Hopefully, we'll get there one day.
Hopefully.
But being consistent, I think that's key to. I think any kind of success.
At some point, we hopefully. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen or not, but hopefully, at some point, we gonna get a breakthrough.
Yeah.
We kind of did in the Spanish when Raul came in first.
Yeah.
So a big YouTuber, a lot of people know him. So right when he came up on the first, he actually came up on the fourth episode. It was
nice.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the channel just gained a lot of subscribers just right after that, and then after that, Ariel came in, also another Spanish speaking YouTuber. Just kind of like that was kind of like big breakthrough.
Do you want to call them YouTubers or influencers? What do you want to call them?
Content creators. Content creators. They are both YouTubers and influencers. I'm pretty sure, even though they deny them.
Yeah, that's why.
But no, definitely they influence people, whether they want it or not. But then I mean, I'm still hoping and waiting for we can kind of get that breakthrough on the English version. I don't know if it is better to separate the channels, but I kind of hate to start thinking about that because I don't plan to, or I don't intend for this to become like a job. Yeah,
because we did it for the hobby.
I barely want to go to work on my regular day, but day to day. So I don't want to make this my job, right? So that's a lot of people asking me, "Oh, have you checked your the stats and the the numbers and all that?" Like when you start looking at that, you start getting worried about that. You start concerned about that. You want to get them higher and higher, and then you become kind of like attached to that, and you want to. Oh, let me get this to this new number. And honestly, the way that you said it, like this is a hobby, and I was explaining it to these guys yesterday. Like when we started, it's like, hey man, remember we were talking on your shop, and we're like, this will pretty cool. We were just
just
chatting,
yeah,
like, oh, this will pretty cool if we were filming this. And that's kind of like the idea came up, and then after that, a friend helped. Like, anyways, everything.
Yeah, I mean, but that's
combined.
That's the thing we're talking about. You know, we said it from the beginning, and I think as of right now, it hasn't changed. We're not in it for the money. We never discuss and look at the numbers and analytics and all that stuff. So, I think you're right. Whenever you start looking at things like that, then it becomes a job. Then it becomes like, we need to do this. We need to get serious. Or we need to get, And I mean, I'm not saying that's bad, because if somebody wants to do it as a job,
hold on. I'm not saying if it gets to the point where like, hey, we probably can make some extra couple of hundreds, whatever. Hey, it's money to money. Like, it's money that you didn't have. Like, maybe we can put it into our collections. I didn't even know. We can probably split it 3 ways, because we all put time, effort, and everything. Like right now, like nobody's who's making the money on it. Like nobody's making money right now.
No.
But if we do, I think we all three have committed our time, and I think. I
mean,
even though I'm the pretty face of this, I'm the one,
I guess you do look like the dog,
like the muscle monster.
No, he kind of does. He kind of does.
Yeah. I'm small. I'm slightly turned into the logo.
Yeah. No. I mean. Yeah. I mean, eventually, if it happens, it happens, and I think the good thing about it is, I could tell you in this bunch, we're not greedy. That's one thing I can say about this bunch, and that's a good thing, because then turmoil, things like that start happening. People start arguing. It's happened before, but I don't see that with us. I think we're a little bit tighter than. So I'm confident if ever it gets to the point where if we start seeing money, or we're actually looking to make money now, then I don't see it being a problem. But I mean,
if anything, if we make any money, we should probably go first to reinvest it into.
That's the whole point. You gotta invest in your, in what you're using, your tools. You gotta get better tools. And
I never ask you, like when I ask you to do it, I never ask you like, what are you expecting to get out of us? Like, it's just to hang out.
Yeah, pretty much just the passion. I've said it day in and day. If people understood why I'm doing it, I think they should know by now that we always talk. I mean, you talk to me about toys, and I get happy. I mean, it's a passion that I have. I don't. Oh my gosh, and I have to go see Yuli, and I have Isaias and his questions. No, I mean, I have fun bonding with y'all. I mean, that's the God honest truth. But especially when it comes to toys and geeking out. I think anybody that has a passion for toys and they geek out, that's like the ultimate happiness, because it's the hobby. We enjoy it. It's the passion. We enjoy it. And, you learn about new stuff, and we enjoy it again.
That's pretty cool. I'm like I said earlier, we're just like dogs chasing a car, like the Joker said, like, I don't know what we're going to do when we get it.
Exactly.
What about you, Isaias? Maybe Isaias won't tell y'all, but in the beginning, he was like I told, hey, how much will you charge me? To help me out with it, and he was charging me some for each episode. I was like, no, that's fine. I mean, it's your time and all that. But and I always tell him like, just send me the invoice. And then one time he stopped sending me the invoices. And I didn't say anything. I was like, what is in it for you? He says, well, like, why do you do this? Like, honestly, like, do you enjoy this?
Yeah, I enjoy it, and what's in it for me is the experience of producing something, of being a producer of a content in internet. I really love to do that, and I'm doing it right here. And we're not focusing on the numbers and the money and everything, because if we do, then we're not going to enjoy these conversations as we're doing right now. We're going to attach it to the number of how many views it got, or to the numbers.
Yeah.
So then, right now, if we ask each other, what's your favorite thing about this whole year and everything, we don't even know which are the episode that has more views or everything. We just remember the conversations that we had.
Exactly.
And that's because we're not in it for the money and for the views. And maybe I don't think we're the only ones, but it's just like filming your guys' hobby. It's just great. It's awesome. It's awesome.
That's cool. Sure. I appreciate that. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, like, what is it? It's like, yes, into it for but that's pretty cool. Honestly,
yeah, it's cool because
it became very, very organic. We're like, let's put a. First, it was just the microphone on Isaiah, like, and we started making like cool questions. Like, let's put a camera on Isaiah.
Yeah,
like,
he has good questions. I always say that
he has
our
to be part of this.
So
I appreciate you, Isaiah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because you get a perspective from, like we always say, from a non-collector.
Mm-hmm.
But he's starting to understand it, and we can't say non-collector anymore because he does have a little collection with him.
Well, yeah, so we'll talk about that in a little bit.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, it's like he was mentioning, when you start looking at numbers, you start looking at what's gonna bring in those numbers, which we do want to do that. You know, regardless, we do have a goal.
Yes,
and our goal is to just for people to enjoy the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Get more followers, get more likes, whatever. And I think that's anybody's. I would be a liar if I was sit here and say, I don't care. I mean, there is a little bit of that in you, but at the end of the day, I do appreciate the people that watch us and enjoy it because they actually, like I said, they're intrigued of stuff that we have to say, and sometimes like, to me that's like, damn, I'm surprised somebody's actually
who cares about what I say?
My opinion, and it's not saying they're gonna take it to the grave with them, but it's just more so like that. That's nice to know that people have hit me up and they tell me that's. They enjoy it, and they learn from the podcast and knowledge.
And that's what I was gonna say. That's what I'm saying. Like the ones that like kind of like throw me off the most is like people like says, "Oh, I like this. I learn a lot." I'm like I'm trying to learn here, and then but it's always there's gonna be like a comment about a variant that I know that maybe they don't know, and then probably they know without that. I know some other lines, but. I mean, it was never our intention to make this all educational or something like that, because I wouldn't dare to stand here and pretend that I can teach someone something about this.
Yeah. You could just teach what you experienced.
We just comment on our experiences, and if something comes up and then they can learn about it, it's pretty cool. I think, but I never. That's what threw me off. People say like, "Oh, I'm learning." I'm like, "How? I'm never."
I mean,
not many intentions.
I do get a lot of questions asked. They people do always message me about pricing and about variants and things like that. And like I said, I don't need to be blessed. I don't need nobody to give me money to give them answers. Like some people ask for.
Yeah. There's some people that now this person like,
give me some money, and
now they're starting charging fees for
which is idiotic.
Trade for knowledge. Like that's
idiotic.
Stupid.
To me, honestly, the more you teach the people that are interested, the better, because we keep the market going.
You keep the market going. You keep the hobby interesting. There's a lot of, I don't know. It's just, I've never, in any part of my life, I've never been like a person that will withhold any information. If I can help you out, I'll help you out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, now, there's certain things, like say, when you own a business or when you're running a business, there's certain things you want to keep, like your honey hole, But when it comes to information, I mean, information should be free. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I feel like you need to be very insecure to not share what you know because you're afraid of
competition, if you want to call that. Yeah.
But honestly, as much as I can teach you all I know, I'm pretty sure you're gonna come up with something different than I do. And it's a big world, man. There's no way that you can.
Yeah, you don't know everything.
You don't know everything, and you cannot, fill every hole in it. So
and I take that with me because people say, "Oh, you're so knowledgeable," but I don't know everything. So if I don't know, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm not 100% sure.
And if I do know, that's pretty cool, because I never intend to post. Or you never intend to pose as a know-it-all. Like.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if I do know something, then I will tell you about it. And I've done it before, and I'll keep doing it. People that ask me things, I try not to steer away. Honestly, like I said, and I've told you this before, I appreciate that you actually do go back and you read comments and you reply. And I try to stay consistent on my end with, people asking me questions, and I try to ignore it because to me, honestly, if if they're interested and they actually went out their way to actually message me or message you or vice versa, I think it doesn't take long just to type in whatever your answer is, what your response, and move along. And if they want to keep coming at you, coming back for more information, that means that they're intrigued and they're getting more and more into the hobby. So that's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. You always want the hobby or whatever you're interested to grow, not to. The information is not to hide it from people.
Exactly.
I'm not surprised by the fact that people are telling you that they're learning about your guys' conversation, because one of my favorite hobbies is just to sit and listen to a podcast, or one of the moments I've learned the most is when I'm sitting with two people that are businessmen or salesmen or they're in the same business or industry, and they are just talking to each other. Those are moments where you just learn. And I've seen that like throughout my life. Something I've always thought is that in school, people would learn more if there are two experts speaking about something than you writing something on the board, or telling the kids to read something. Just by listening to a conversation, that really goes a long way. So that's my experience. That's something I do. And that's why it's no problem for me just like be here listening to you guys, even though I knew nothing about this. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, we're not experts for one. That's one, because I don't want people to think that we're calling ourselves
or
experts.
we're trying to pose as teachers.
But like I said, you have. I mean, I know a lot of the viewers haven't seen the cave full 360. But if you were to walk the cave, I mean, you'll see a lot of toy lines. So at the end of the day, you can say Yuli. People go by numbers. I don't really go by numbers. I go based off experience. I go based off, what you've been through and what you know. So you can say I only have 3 years, but I really don't see that. I just see how much you know. And because I know for a fact that you nerd out whenever you're going to a line, you take pictures, you start, and that to
checklists.
Me, yeah, exactly. And that
watch
to me,
videos about it, like learn.
And that's what I'm saying. You're not just going in it just because. You're going in it because you understand what you want. Before anything, you're going to get into it. If you're going to get into it, you know what you're going to get into. You're not just going to be surprised. And
kind of, but a little bit vice versa. I do everything that you said. Like, I go deep into it, but I never go deep before I go into the line.
What do you mean?
Super weird. I always purchase some pieces, and then once I got the first couple of pieces, then I nerd out and go into
but that's best. But like I said, because
it's weird.
No, it's not, because it's honestly, I think a lot of it's. If you ask me, I think it's normal, because me personally, I'll say it again.
I see something, I like it.
There you go. The muscle mutts. I seen you have one behind the camera. You took me out. That's a pretty cool piece. But once I seen it in person, like, oh damn. So I didn't know much about them. Until you kind of explained. But I already wanted one. So that's what I get it. It motivates you to. If you buy one and you have it in your hand, you'll be like, okay, I know. I want to get deep into this too. It's gonna. I mean, like I said, to me, it's kind of normal. Now, some people may want to do the research before.
But yeah. I think that'll be Isaias. Before jumping into it, he'll make a whole Excel about it, prices, sold, possibly, like, go into history and how many have been sold and all that. I do kind of that. I don't put it on an Excel. Excuse me. But it's right after I buy my first couple of pieces, then I get into it. And sometimes I buy a couple, and then I realize, oh my God, this has hundreds of figures before I jumped in. And sometimes I jump in, I'm like, oh, this is like 10, 12 pieces on it. That's cool. And then I have to learn, which one is the hard one to get and all that.
Yeah, the girl of that, or the high-end one, or the girl in that line. That's what they call it. That was called there always has to be. I mean, that's what I noticed. Every line has to have its high-end piece.
Yes. It's funny because right now, and that's why I kind of put him in here. I'm kind of like a little bit obsessed with the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I got a few of them in a big lot that I got from a friend. I think his name is Carlos from Villain's Toy Room. But once I got him, I think I got a bunch of figures from different lines. But those are the ones that I got. Let me get into it a little bit more. And that's what I caught my full attention. Out of all lines, and I got this ones, I got Mad Bulls, I got
All the obscure like stuff that's pretty cool from the 80s.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I intend to continue on those. But out of all of those, the Killer Tomato like got me really good. And now I'm just trying to complete that line.
Mm-hmm.
I like them, but it's just always like that. Like I like all of them, but once you have them on your hand, is that experience, is that click?
Yeah.
That's what it, to me, makes me go into a heart into a collection, into a new line. Some people might go into it because of nostalgia. I've said it before. I didn't have like many toys when I was young, so I don't have much of that nostalgia of playing with toys. But I do appreciate a good figure, the colors, the sculpture, the action sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. But definitely, once you have it on your hands, to me, it's that click that makes you go hard into it.
And I think honestly, as a collector, I think we all kind of experience that. I really do. I haven't heard a guy say, well, it's okay, but I'm gonna still buy it, but it's okay. It's an okay piece. Like, no, a lot of guys that I know that actually purchase things, they purchase them because they had to have a click with it.
Well, yes, some sort of a click. But for me, it's having the toy in my hands. Well,
that's a click.
But that's a click. But what about the guys that collect on card? They never really touch the toy.
But you got all of them. Like, okay, but you got to understand that, like I said, everybody has different. They like whatever they like the card art. Everything. Everybody's gonna have their way of looking at something,
and the way
it's gonna have a click.
They click with the toy line. Yeah, that's
the card art. Because I mean, me personally, like I said, man, when it comes to my opinion, when it comes to He-Man Master, I think that's the best artwork out there. When it comes to toy lines, He-Man is like number one.
Okay,
and then, but believe it or not, like the card backs on them is, I don't know. But when it comes to like turtles that has like wacky and stuff, like I like that. It catches my attention.
Yeah, it's just every line has a different, stronger than the other one. Someone may have a better action. Someone better have a better colors or molds or like sculpture, some better art, better backstory. The backstory plays a lot. Yeah, plays a lot. Because a lot of people.
Correct.
And the Turtles, if you think about it, Turtles is one of the toy lines that the backstory plays a huge part. Why? Because maybe there's a couple of guys that I'm He-Man, or I am Tila, or I am Rat-Man.
Well, not 2025. Yeah, the man can say I'm Tila.
I'm Tila. But the Turtles, everybody has. I identify. I'm Mikey. I am Donatello. I like Leonardo. Like they identify more with. So the backstory talks a lot about the collectors on that line. Maybe the G.I. Joes, but I don't know. I didn't experience that much.
Yeah, no, G.I. Joes because there's a lot of characters. So
there's a lot of characters. But you see, sometimes the backstory also plays a lot on the decisions that you make, on that click that you make on there's different reasons. For me, it's literally maybe because I never had like that many toys in my. Just have it on my hand, a toy. It's just an experience. Right now, it's just like just have this and then just like I cannot have I cannot help myself, but just like I'm just pushing, but like I'm just playing with it a little bit, right? So it's just hold this and then it's like just like you want to do that, like
the actions. Yeah, you always want to know how the action works. But think about it. Not all toys are the same. Playmates, they make their certain lines, they make their certain figures. Kenner makes their certain lines different. They all have different action, like you said. So just think about it. When somebody, let's just say that, we know a lot of people that are hardcore turtle collectors. That's all they want to collect is turtles. But then you start noticing that they kind of start veering off and start looking at Transformers or He-Man. I've rarely seen them. I've rarely seen a turtle collector, full-blown turtle collector, go after G.I. Joes. That's one thing I can tell you. Maybe us, but at least Transformers and Ghostbusters, different actions, different modes, different, and so that's where there has to be a click for them to get out of this
to move on to
another whole different line, whole different actions, whole different modes.
Yeah, sometimes not even the figure on your hand. Sometimes like not even the actions, but the story. Like when we said the backstory, like the Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Star Wars has a lot of backstory. Maybe you don't identify with someone, but it's like it's so iconic. That's something you have to have it, right?
It's so deep and iconic, and believe it or not, but if you think about it, the Star Wars toys are not like
that's what exactly. That's what I'm like. There's not a big deal on them. Like they don't have actions. They don't have the best sculptures, except kind of like for the last 17.
The last 17, that was like the purpose of the
they were starting to get into, but that was like kind of like at the end when they were like dying.
Well, that was the last 17. Yeah, at that time for the vintage. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So the backstory has so much, like you said, it's so rich in history. I mean, it's
everybody's gonna like have a different click with each toy line. And once you get into it, and then you realize that there's some like so-called maybe grails or just hard to get or rare ones. That's where like, oh man, that's where like, unless you have like infinite money. But even if you do, like,
exactly,
you don't want to be the dumbass that pay more for.
No, because honestly, like I said, you shouldn't feel like a dumbass for the simple fact that okay, if you're in it to collect for investment,
no.
Then hold on, but that's what I'm saying. Then you can feel. But if you're in it because, and like I said, we've been guilty of this. I'm kind of guilty of it now, of buying accessories that are more expensive than the figures.
Yes.
But it's like, you know, and trust me, Yuli, it hurts. It hurts me because I'm like, man, I don't want to spend as much. I don't for an accessory. I don't want to, but I have no choice.
Yeah.
I have no choice. I want to complete it. No, I have no choice. Damn
you can wait. You can wait. You can always wait.
No, you can't wait because
that's what you tell yourself.
No, but that's the thing. I can't wait because it doesn't come up.
Talking about the addiction, right? So yeah.
So it's like
yeah. Here, like
it's almost like a
into the vein.
Just think about it. It's almost like a muscle mutt accessory. How often do you see those things come out? You don't see them come out too often. And you're already patient enough to wait for one to come out. So when it does come out, you're like, I just wait for the next. I'm like, man, no, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that.
No, yeah, exactly. And just sometimes it's weird how we are willing to pay up some prices, even though, you know, like just clear example. I'm getting into I'm dipping into right now Killer Tomatoes, right? But then this is the expensive one, and then you found one with the accessories and all, and it's rare, and they're like, it's $500, or they asking $500, $600, and then for me it's like, and then it's only like 3 of the expensive ones, like not even a huge line, right? And man, I'm making a huge big deal. But then you look back.
But look behind them, guys.
Look behind them, the muscle model.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, God, like,
but
it's just. I don't know. It's just like something that plays into your mind, like, this is expensive at $600, but this is not expensive like $5,000. Like,
it's something I can't explain. I can't explain that. It's almost like what we talked about. You know, like, okay, let's just say you find this. Let's just say this piece is $500. You find it for $300. Oh man, that's a good deal. But they want $50 shipping.
Oh man, it's like, nah, come on, man. It's just include. And it's not. You're not gonna take $50 off of the shipping. Like $12. Like, come on. Like, and then you start battling your
and that's
inner battles. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's unexplainable, guys. I don't think anybody can explain that.
You already got a good deal.
Yeah,
and you still don't want to pay the shipping, even though it's gonna be cheap. Like, it just. I don't know.
Some people
we do not make sense at all when it comes to pricing and how much we're willing to pay for one piece that's supposed to be expensive.
And that's the reason why sometimes, like, when you actually do pay the piper, you do pay the price. Me personally, I think about it. I'm like, but like it's like what you said before. You got to make peace with yourself.
You have to.
You have to. I mean, because for one, you already pulled the trigger.
If you want to be in it for the long run, you have to make a peace with yourself, with each, and
letting go and buying.
Yes.
Letting go and buying, because that's.
I learned that recently because it wasn't until this past year when I started like selling some stuff. Before that, I was like, I ain't selling shit.
Nothing will come out of your collection.
But I was too new, right?
Well, it wasn't that you were new. It's not being new. It's not being it's just when you're ready, you're ready, and when you're not, I mean, it's
true.
That's
true. That's
what I'm telling you. People go based that. To me, it's idiotic when people talk about, well, you only have 2 years collecting. Who cares? Who cares how many years you have? I don't. To me, I never seen it. I like, well, it's because Yuli's new. He don't know any better. I never said that because, I mean, you may have made some. I'm not gonna say mistakes, but some buys that I think, hey, slow down.
Mistakes. You can call them mistakes.
I know. There's better out there, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's not. It's just not one of those deals where you can say that, oh, man, like you're just messing up left and right, and
no.
So yeah, I mean,
it's sometimes one of those products that once they show up in your radar, and if you have the opportunity to get it, and like just get it. I truly do. I admire some of those people, those YouTubers like Raul, like Ed Retro Gig, like Froggy Flip, like those people that they show on their videos. And they really wait until they see it on like.
You
if I want it, I like.
You mean they have patience?
They have patience. I don't know. And I tried. I promise.
Oh man, I don't know.
It's just hard, man. Like, if you want something.
I think. I mean, I guess you want to say there's more drive in us because I'm kind of the same way as you. I mean, but I could be a little bit patient, and I have been patient. But I'm patient to know when I should be patient and when I can't. And like I said, the situation that I'm in right now, I can't be patient because it just doesn't come up too often.
You don't want to be patient. I'm pretty sure
because the opportunity doesn't come up,
brother.
Too
those
often.
lines have been out there for years. They will come up later.
Okay, so okay, I'll give you some homework. I want you to find me at least 10 pieces.
I'm not gonna find it right now, but they're gonna come up. They're gonna come up.
Yeah, but how often?
I'm pretty sure. That's what I. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you in that one because I do the same thing. That's what I'm saying. I admire the guys that actually are patient.
So okay, so let me bring some. This past week, I'm in this group, right? I think we were talking about this earlier, and you haven't really seen a lot of Leos. I haven't seen a lot of Leos, especially Skeletors, out for sale, or even Leo figures, or Rotoplast, or rare variants, right? And there's been a couple of same guys that are pulling them out. They're taking them out. They're selling, but this guy made a comment, and his just kind of summarize what he said. He's like, "You're killing the industry by taking these rare things out because they didn't come out too often, and now that you're bringing them out and you're lowering down the price." Because he has that collection, he feels like you're messing up my investments.
Yeah. We all have that. We all have that. If you get a piece that it was when you got it, it was like I don't know.
It's almost like the purple shredder with me. It's like, man, you remember I told you like it was like 2 years that I waited. I lost one by bidding. I was off by like $5. I beat myself up for about 2 years waiting for the next one to come out. It came out. I think even I had to wake up like at 5 a.m. to bid on it, and I was for sure not gonna lose it. If I had to pay over, and I did put a big bid on it, I was not gonna lose it. But once I got it, I was happy. And then like I think once I got it graded, everything was good. But I think that within a year later.
Left and right.
Yeah, left and right.
Left and right, and then for much less.
And much less.
Yes. I don't know what happens with that. It's just weird. Like, I don't know if it is, people waiting for their figure to come up on price and then just they're ready to let go. Like, when the stocks hold. And then whenever the price reaches a certain level, like, sell,
yeah.
So I don't know if it is that or what's happening on that. But yeah, that's a real deal. That's a real thing. When you're really waiting for a figure for too long, once you come up, once you get it, it's just everywhere. And that person might have been just talking out of he's upset because he got him for certain price.
Yeah, no,
he wants the value to go up instead of down. And when he sees like the value's down, like he doesn't like it. But we go back to square number one. Don't buy it as an investment. Like if you're buying to make money, you should buy it and sell right away for to make profit out of it. Like, do not wait because you might lose. Like, there's a higher percentage that you might lose value on it. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. Otherwise, you're just risking it.
Yes. So the guy's response to that was, and yeah, I mean, like I said, there were. I think honestly, both were valid points. He's like, you know, with all this mass of figures that are coming out, and then y'all lowering down this price, y'all messing it up for the guys that took a while to find it, paid this amount of money. He at the end of the day, he has his point. Well, you know, and the guy said, I understand. He goes, but you guys see it this way as well. He goes, now these figures that were so hard to get, and people don't have that kind of money to spend. Now they're able to obtain something that they felt like they were never able to get because of money, and that's a valid point too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he says it as you're ruining the hobby because you're making it. You know, I'm losing value on my figures, but that's his point of view. The guy that's buying it, like, well, you're the best guy in the world because I was finally able to find one, to be able to purchase one. So in the other guy's eyes, you're evil, or the guy that's selling is evil. But the guy who's buying, I'm like, this guy is an angel.
Yeah, because and so you know, they both you know, it wasn't like a back and forth battle. It just, he gave his opinion. The guy, the seller understood. He goes, I understand where you're coming from. But then he explained, you know, not everybody's, you know, able to obtain pieces that are high end, but if we're able to help out the community, why not?
Yeah, if he's able to help out, but honestly, he's making money.
He's making money too.
I'm for sure, 100% sure that he's making money off of it. So it's not like.
But being that they're coming out with
giving away,
they're coming out a little bit more often. He's like, these things, and he clearly said it. He goes, these things you would not see these too often. And now, like, every other week, I see another figure coming, but they're selling. They're selling, you know. But at the end of the day, he's like, you're bringing them out too much, too consistently, where it's like it's becoming a common figure. It's not becoming one of those rare high end pieces that you don't see too often.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, of course. I think if you want to just clear it up, you're messing up my inventory because my value on my pieces are going down because you keep coming out and then y'all lowering down the prices just to make the sell.
Yeah, but that's a never-ending story with that. Like, one's gonna have an opinion on it, the other one's gonna have, like, someone's, you know, benefited.
Yeah, benefit. Yeah, he's gonna benefit off of it.
And then the other one's just not taking the worst part of it.
I mean, it's because everybody has different ways, I guess, having outlooks on it. And honestly, I respect what he said, but also respect what the seller's response was too. I mean, I really do. It's like you can't pick and choose. I'm not gonna be like, well, I'll pick this side. You know, it's just everybody has his.
The answer should be as simple as, those are my figures. I can sell them as well. Yeah. Whatever I like.
Yeah. But, you know, people.
I can ask whatever I want.
But the thing about it is, you know, just some people think they're entitled. You know, Star Wars people. I mean,
we always come back to that.
because we know it's you know, these are more older, classier. You want to call that? I don't know. More they're more.
They feel like they feel like they own the franchise and all that.
So I mean, there's just, you know, you have to respect it if you want to be in the if you want to be part, not to say part of their group, but if you want to understand it and you want to continue, and you know, find deals or whatever, you know, you got to be a part of that too. You know, you just don't want to go in and say, I don't care what you think, blah blah blah, because everybody's opinionated. I'm telling you, and you know this.
Yeah.
Everybody, when it comes to the turtle community too, people are opinionated, you know, but I think there's just more of, it's a younger group. So, you know, it's a little bit more malicious and people don't give a damn.
Yeah, it's a cruel world. Yeah, I don't know. Especially whenever you're starting, you're getting into the line or you're starting to collecting, and you hear that, people, you sometimes believe them. And that's something that they don't understand. When you make those type of comments, that people might really believe it. Like, even though I'm not too all into it, like, I don't buy into it. Like, you have your opinion, I have mine, right? So that's it. But anyways. Hey, I wanted to like, let's switch it up. I wanted to ask Isaias now. I don't know. Maybe you all didn't see the episode because it was an episode in Spanish. When I finally gave Isaias a couple of figures from his childhood. Some figures that he wanted when he was a kid. He used to play with Barbies. No. Steel Max.
Max Steel.
Max Steel. No.
Come on, you see? Look at that.
I don't know them. That's clear. And I was like, I think like these holidays and all that is a perfect time for me to do a gift to Isaias. And he's comment before that he always wanted those figures. And we kind of like, we got his reaction and all that. But after, a couple of weeks that you have him and all that, what is your opinion? Like, do you feel like a collector? Have you investigated like how much the other ones are, or like trying to complete them, or what's the deal?
Yeah. After that, no. Before you gave them to me, I was already researching about the figures, about the line. I was trying to put together. I was trying to gather information of which year exactly was the one I was a fan of, and that was not easy. It wasn't easy for me to find. Like, it's not a list of how the toys came out or the movies. It's not a list. You have to really go in it and spend a lot of time doing it. And after that, I've done it too, but I realized something. The figures are huge.
They're big.
They're big. I didn't know that.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I told you in that episode that I already know where to display them, and only 2 of them fit. The other ones I have on the floor. So it's like now I need to think where to put them. But I didn't realize that they were that big. And I would really like to get into it, but the thing is, when I just dip my toe in everything, I'm seeing the most expensive stuff. I'm seeing the carded ones. I'm seeing the grails of the lines, and I'm getting scared.
Scared.
I haven't researched the cheaper ones. So that's something I need to get.
Well, what do you hold on. What do you mean by the cheaper ones?
I mean, I mean the loose ones. I mean the loose ones, and I mean.
So let me ask you. If the carded ones, let's put a number. Let's say $500 for a carded one. How much? And that would be like the high end one because personally, I think there's always a high end piece for one line. There always has to be 1 or 2. So, would like $200 be a lot for one?
I wouldn't make a purchase for $200 right now.
No. But about the figure, like, now you have to pay attention, right? If you research. And then you say, this figure, costs $1,000 because some seller on eBay is asking $1,000. Doesn't mean that it's worth $1,000.
Remember I told you?
You have to look up on the sold ones.
The comp sales, yeah.
There's an option on eBay that if you put your search, it will show you everything that is for sale. But then you extend that option list, and then it says sold. Means that it's going to show you the sold ones. And that will throw you a good idea of who paid how much for which figure. So the fact that somebody's asking that much money, because if you look into it, I don't know, there was a muscle mod carded that it was in there and it's still there.
$8,200.
But it was $8,000 to $10,000. And it's been there forever. I think they bring it down to $5,000, $6,000.
No, it's I think at 82 or something like that. 8,200.
Something like that. Yeah. And then at some point it went up the same figure. It didn't sell, and it went up to 15,000, 15K, and like a figure that is definitely not worth that. So if you see that, a lot of people are like, oh my God, so be careful. Not necessarily what people is asking is what it's worth, especially if you see that. If you see it there for more than a week,
because it haven't sold, right?
Exactly. No, but it's not the real price.
If you like it, you buy it, no matter the price.
That's exactly what we're trying to not. Don't do it. Don't do it. Try to not submit to your basic instincts.
That's what I told Yuli, and look at the kid now. You see, if I didn't motivate Yuli like that, he wouldn't have none of this stuff.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be broke right now. Like,
yeah, okay.
Something that I've been thinking about since I've been researching about this is that I'm not interested in getting any carded figures for me, it would be like I don't know,
Waste of
having
money.
a car and
In the box
never
or a
never
car.
driving it, and like would you explain to me like what's the deal with the car?
They
Figures.
carded. It's condition. Usually, you want as a collector. There's a part in the collector, mind, I guess, or heart, where you wanna preserve the figures, and that's why a lot of people also grade them, the figures, to keep them as clean as possible, away from the dust, as intact, so that way they can survive as long as possible. There's other ones that like me that I like them. I like the figures loose. I want to be able to, and they get dusty. Yes, they do. Like try to clean them from time to time. And there's a few pieces that I like to have them like still in the car. But like I don't know, it can play in the ego. Like, oh, I got him like I found him like good condition. I got him a car that's more expensive. I don't know.
I think you said it, I think it's to preserve. I've heard that so many that word comes up very often.
And there's a lot of people that will really get upset if they see you opening a figure out of getting it out of its car.
And that car could be beat up. That car could be ran over by the car like 3 times, and they don't care if you. Pretty much, they're saying you just took one out of circulation that was still sealed. Like the bubble's already cracked. How is it still sealed? But they get upset.
They get really mad and upset. Like there's like this like team loose and team carded. But there's sometimes where you find a carded figure that's gonna be cheaper than the loose one for some weird reason, or if not, you find it at the same price. But this is it's gonna be a mint figure because it's never been taken out. So you want it loose and you want it as clean as possible. So there's people that do that on purpose just to get clicks. And I've done it before just because I want the figure out of the package. I really want the loose one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, just let me poke the bear and let me film it. And like, let me just see. And there's people that really get upset about it. Then they will complain and say everything.
Like if it's their figure.
You should have, sold it to me. But if you offer it, like they won't buy it. It's just, anyways, it's just weird. Like,
I mean, like I said,
it's hard to explain.
Everybody has their different ways. I mean, I've heard it as well. Yuli, I said it before. He doesn't like loose grading. Mm-hmm. Like people say, why would you take a loose piece out and then go get it graded loose? I do it because I like the way it displays.
Wait, but it was pieces that were carded. You take them out and then
and then put it back into a case.
And the reason
that's the loose graded.
And the reason behind that is most of the times when people buy a piece to loose grade, it's because the bubble is that, just like Yuli said, the bubble could be damaging the card back. So the display won't look as pristine, if you want to say that, or it just won't fit in with your collection because you're trying to have a nice condition collection, if anything. So people pull it out just to take it to get graded. They're still preserving. They don't want people touching the figure because oils, and they're afraid, with time, dust.
Oh,
and
and you're gonna have a good grading because
exactly.
it was in the bubble.
Okay.
But the display, to me, honestly, I do it more
That's
so.
Cheating. That's a little bit cheating.
It's not cheating because you're still paying for the figure. It's not like you got you got the figure for a lot cheaper.
Is it worth more after the grading than before in the bubble? Even though the bubble is not.
No. It's usually pristine? Depending on the figure, but it's usually no. If it is in good condition, it's usually worth more the figure in its cart than loose graded.
Okay,
no.
so hold on. Okay,
hold on. No, I'm thinking and then I'm retarded. Like, okay. Hold on. It can be almost the same
so
price.
ask the question again.
Okay. You have a Leo. You bought it in a card, but the bubble is broken.
Okay.
You want to take it out.
It'd be worth more if you grade it loose.
Then on its card.
Then if the card's beat up, like you say, if the bubble's beat up, it'd be worth more.
But
if it gets a good grade.
But you're gonna get a good grade because it's new.
Mm-hmm. But then you lose the art.
That's
and a lot of people appreciate more the art.
Yeah.
Especially you talk about a Leo. Yeah. And then you probably don't see the differences between but the Leo cards, you don't see them. It's very rare. For example, I have the 2 cats from the Muscle Mutts, and you know I have the card back and I have the bubble, but it's loose. It's not attached to it. Both of them. In any other cases, like pick one. If I will have that condition, I will throw away the card. I will throw away the bubble. I'll just keep the figure. Those are so freaking rare. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care if it is detached. The card itself, it's worth
money.
A lot of money. Like a lot. So in the Leo case, on a Leo, Motu Leo, a card, even though if it's beat up, the card itself.
Hold on. You're talking about a Motu Leo or Turtle Leo?
A Turtle Leo.
I thought you were talking about the Leo.
I mean, honestly, if me personally, if it was a Skeletor or a Faker, I wouldn't have pulled out the card either.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Leo, because you mentioned Leo, maybe probably.
Okay, hold on. So we're talking about a Turtle Leo. Okay,
and I thought you were talking about Leo, Motu Leo.
No. I mean, like any figure that
not
you have
not
in
any
a
figure. Not any figure. It depends on the rarity.
It depends.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It depends on the rarity.
Carlos, he has a freaking little like mini robot, like mini.
Oh yeah.
Card, like a little transformer.
A Bumble Jumper.
A Bumble Jumper is still in his card. The card is super beat up. It's even great. It has a super low grade.
It's like a 40.
Like a low grade.
And I don't like, and believe it or I don't like, people know I don't like low grades.
Beat up or low grades. But that card, it's so rare.
It's hard to find.
Hard to find that even if it is beat up or beaten up, I'm sorry, it's just worth a lot more money within it.
So the grading is 40, but it's more expensive because the card.
Yeah, if you take it out of the card, basically the card will be worth as much or sometimes
like
more.
If you were to get that Bumble Jumper in the market, they're probably like maybe $250. So just think about I'll be losing thousands. Just for the card. If I just pull it off the card and the card's not even in the best of condition.
Thousands.
Something that just came up in my mind is that your rule number one is that the figure should be in like a really good condition. Except this one, because
there's exceptions.
There's exceptions.
There's always exceptions.
It's almost like, okay, for instance, and there's a grading. A grading company will not grade a piece if it's not 100% complete. Yuli learned this as well. Recently. But there's some pieces that are so rare, that the accessories are so rare to get, that they'll grade it without the accessory.
The company will make an exception. The grading company will make an exception, and it will still grade it because it's already there's even exceptions to that.
There's exceptions to certain things, but this is when you get to the rare stuff.
So you find this out by experience and by where, because there are not articles. There are no. Where do you see this?
Yeah, you get this from experience. You get this with with knowledge, with time, but. At the end of the day, honestly, when you start creating, because like I said, when we first start collecting, we go based off of someone else. People go off of influencers. You go based off of research. You go based off whatever you want to, whatever you feel you intrigued with, whatever you're going to find that click. And then you start making your own path. Like I said, Yuli has a lot of this stuff, not because, he was influenced, but not everything was because somebody else had it. He started finding his own click. You start creating your own path. So that's what like I said, collecting could go all kinds of different ways.
But yeah, like you said, there's no articles about it. I think that's why a lot of people also said they're learning from what we're talking, and then we just converse. We're not trying to teach anybody. We're just talking, and then probably people pick something up out of our conversation, and that's how we learn. There's no articles, and there's usually YouTube. That's kind of like our go-to. I especially like I go to Raul's, I go to Matt Hunter, I go to Ariel's, I go to Froggy Flips, I go to Ed, I go to there's a lot of channels they're really informative, and then as they're doing their video, they say, oh, this is rare, this is this and that, and then okay, so now there's the one thing, don't believe everything that you hear on our stuff. Like pick it up. And then go and do your own research. Like go and see, put it on a safe search on eBay or whatever platform you buy, and see how often they come up. See if there's one up for sale or 10 for sale or 20 for sale. And then that's gonna give you, for starters, that's gonna start giving you like little hints. How many you see up for sale? And the prices, if you see one is like 1,000 and the other one, like the other 5 is like 300, it's probably worth 250 or something like that. Like it's not gonna be 1,000. So you start getting hints on your when you're researching. Now it is important to do research because that's the one that is more available. Once you start getting into the communities, that's where you start learning more than something that's not that expensive as eBay says. You'll find it among the communities that you'll probably find it cheaper to deal of collector to collector.
I was able to find some websites that they kind of give you maybe like a background or a year of a certain figure, something like that. But how would you know that a figure has this many accessories? How would you know? It would be just by.
There's a lot of there is a lot of research on things like that.
The easiest way, instead of going into a website and looking, to me, it's first one. There's gonna be super hard ones, but the first one, and usually it works. I go to eBay. There's gonna be a one of those figures. There's gonna be a carded one. That's what I'm saying. Like 90%, 95%. The rare ones hardly to come up for sure. But most of them you'll find a card. And then they have pictures of the front, they have pictures of the back, and usually on the box or the card, they show you the amount of accessories that you should have on a figure. So that's your first one. Then there's other websites where they list, and they take pictures of it. But it's also depending on how popular the line is, because if it is not that popular, nobody's gonna take their time and put in the effort to create a website just to put up all the accessories on each line.
Well, just okay, so. You know, so some of these influencers and YouTubers and, you know, guys that are really like I said, there's people that really concentrate just in Motu, and then there's people that concentrate just in turtles. They came out with books.
Mm-hmm.
You have books. Now, another thing, pretty much what Yuli is telling you, that's like a starter pack. Like if you're going to start, that's the easiest way. But then when you start getting deeper into knowing if that accessory goes to that figure, because somebody can say this figure is like what happened to G.I. Joe's. Mm-hmm. They gave you the wrong gun. You want to wear. Mm-hmm. You thought it came with it, you know, because the accessories are there. So, but once you start going to, you know, more Facebook groups that people are actually like, they nerd out on things like that. They could tell you to the smallest detail of if it's the right accessory, if it's the right mode. So that's when you start really doing a lot of research of when you're collecting. That it gets, you know, you're gonna have to really do your research because you don't want to spend money on something that's gonna be very expensive that could be not authentic or it really doesn't really go to that piece. I learned that a few times myself when it came to Star Wars. I had the right blaster but the wrong color.
What if you decided to in your store add in the figures that I want Max Steel, where would you start to like researching about that, to investigating about them, how many, the years?
What do you mean when?
Where where would you start to doing your research?
Personally, I wouldn't go off of eBay. Well,
eBay?
I wouldn't go to eBay first. Okay. I would want to see the line, and then I'll start learning the names because you don't know the names. How can I research something if I don't know the names? So I would need to Google it, find out what the names are, and then that's how I can start doing my research of what's what. People start talking. Within that group, you're gonna start seeing people are gonna talk about what's the high end, what's the most common, what variants, if this variant's more expensive than this one, and then that's when you start doing your research. You have to start somewhere. So, yeah, we could say eBay's a good starter, but at the same time, when you get into a line that you don't know nothing about, how are you gonna go to eBay and search for something? Okay, this is called skeleton. So Skeletor. So I'm gonna say Skeleton Man. Nothing's gonna pop. So that's when you like, okay, I need there's other ways. So that's how I do my research, is if I'm getting to a line that I'm not familiar with at all, then I start doing, I try to know a little bit about everything. I'm not saying I know everything about everything, but other lines, like, when you like, I knew about these, I knew there's all the Computer Warriors, and you're like, oh yeah, like I know about stuff like that, but I don't collect it, but I know about it, and I know enough to be like, okay, the Pepsi one is the cool one. That one everybody wants.
I didn't even know. I just thought it was super cool. I thought it was kind of like some sort of transformer or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of the mini, from the miniatures and then Transformers. So they always try to, cross over the.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just. But when, like Maxil, I don't know nothing about it, so I would need to Google it before I even go to eBay to know the names. Because if I don't know, what the hell am I gonna be Googling?
I jump into eBay right away. Yeah. I just put the name. For example, I'm looking for Rotten Tomato. But you see, everyone has their different approach to a new line.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
That's what I say. That's what I say. That's the way I approach it.
And when I do it, I was just like, okay, if I want to jump into a new line, for some stupid reason, my first to go is eBay, and then if I'm going for killer tomatoes, I just go to eBay and killer tomatoes, and they will pop up the ones that I have, and they will pop up something different. Like in that, I start learning the names, and I start learning, like that's how I start, and then I go to the different website to see what's the complete line. Usually I see it on eBay. I look at the card back and then how many, just different ways to learn.
But how would you? Do you have to put in the year? How would you know which year?
I usually, if I want to go, just put, for example, if I want to go Killer Tomato, I'll just go Killer Tomatoes Vintage, and it's gonna pop up. The old one's gonna pop up. If not, the first one's there's gonna be one and then you start like. That's the cool thing about the eBay. You click on one and they recommend the other one similar, and then you just start going from there.
Yeah, I guess because eBay's been out for so long that they have so many already names.
Database is so big.
The database is big already. So that's the reason why a lot of people go to eBay, because it's been out, I think, since before '99 or something like that.
Yeah, it's old.
So it's been out for a while. So there's so much that's been in their database that you just click one keyword and. Oh, you have to put tomato, and this probably pop out, and then some actual tomatoes will come out. But
sometimes
something like this is gonna pop
sometimes out. You don't even know the name, but you've seen a picture on a video. Sometimes what I do is I pause the video, or on Instagram I pause it. I
take the picture, screenshot it.
I screenshot it, and then you put it on eBay on
someone like Google
a picture search, and then it will come up like it just. There's different ways to research and find, and you know. Yeah.
And on eBay, there are going to be like sales from 10 years ago.
Not 10 years.
Yes.
Like
well, not 10 years. I'm not sure 10 years, but they can be old ones. But you don't want to look at that far. You want to look at the recent ones. Yeah, that's the one the market is where the market is right now.
Well, I mean, I think eBay, if I'm not mistaken, it goes back all the way to like 6 months of sales. I think like 6 months. It's not years. And then there's times. So I don't know if you heard this. That Worth Point. Have you heard of Worth Point? Mm-hmm. You actually have to pay for that. I think it's like $20 a month or something. So sometimes eBay doesn't even have sales, because when we're talking about rarity, sometimes the figures aren't even on there's no comp sales. And so Worth Point, people talk about Worth Point too. They go to Worth Point. They say it's like 10 times better than eBay is what I've heard.
I've never been to Worth Point, but when you look up you used to look up on the stray cuts for the muscle mods. And the only find that you will get, it was from Worth Point.
Worth Point, yeah.
They sold them on Worth Point, and it was.
And so that's what people go. That's what I'm saying. There's, like Yuli said, and there's always different ways. If you want to, I think it's like I said, it's $20, because if you go to Worth Point, you're gonna have to pay. If you want to, you got to register.
You pay to buy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But I mean, it honestly, it's good for people that are actual resellers. That that is a good tool. I mean, if you're gonna invest money in what you're doing, then you want to have the right information, and people that buy from you want to know that you're not just trying to make more than just like Yuli said, and I told you this earlier. Anybody could ask. I could ask $10,000 for a common turtle. I could ask for that. It's okay. People can say I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm crazy. Nobody's gonna buy it. It can sit there for 10 years, and I can still be asking for $10,000 for it. But I'm asking. But you go to your comp sales, and that's what Yuli's talking about. There's a taskbar there, and it has all kind of what you want a condition, you want it loose, you want it new, you want sold items, you want complete items, and then within there there's another filter that you go from the highest to the lowest, or lowest to highest there's all kinds of things, and that's where you start doing all your research and comp sales. If it's there, if it's not, then it gets a little harder. Then you start having to go deep into Facebook groups and find out, like, hey guys, I have this piece. How much would this go for? I had to do that with the Skeletor too. At one point, I was like, hey, what does it go for now? Yeah. Because I bought it this many years ago, and they're like, oh, what I've seen and blah blah blah. And, that's when you start talking to people.
The communities most of the times are very helpful. Sometimes they're like, they'll laugh to your like at your face if you're like asking stupid questions. They can be very helpful, but also they can be very hurtful. But usually they're very helpful. Any type of community, Turtles, Motu, Star Wars. If you ask, a serious questions, they'll help you out. I think that's even, like I said, there's like too many ways to approach a new toy line. Facebook groups or the community, eBay website. Like there's a lot of ways to learn.
Do you think something that matters is that people wouldn't sell me because I have a new account and you guys have like years in there, but in eBay their ratings and stuff, does that matter?
Look, the way to approach that, like for instance, if it's gonna be bad if you're trying to sell. If you're trying to buy, you don't need to worry about that.
I had one experience when I was trying to buy. Well, a guy didn't want to sell me a bunch of
but on eBay?
On eBay. He didn't want to sell me. I was trying to buy a big lot of carded Silverhawks.
Okay.
And I was trying to, he had a lot of for sale. I'm like, tell him, I just kind of message, hey, can you put a lot together? It will be this much. It was going to be a good amount of money, right? But he will have to make like a specific, like different, like another, like
but pretty much a whole new.
But a lot of people have done that.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. We don't sell to newer accounts, especially like this much. Basically, he didn't want to trust, like, I guess some people said that, hey, it never arrived or the box arrived empty. They were just going to, file a different claim. And then they're going to ask for their money back and they keep the figures. And I don't know. Like, it's a little bit.
So the way you approach that, well, I mean, you're already good. So I think Isaias, the way I approach that is always when I start, like first, let's say Mercari, I never buy anything and I have 0 ratings. I'll buy the smallest, stupidest thing for $1. I'll just buy different things and try to get ratings.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to do that. Go buy you a pencil. If they sell a pencil, buy you a pencil.
Just to
buy you a sharpener. Buy you something that you're gonna get a rating for. And then once you establish at least, if you at least
then
have
after that 5, you can scam everybody.
There you go. That's the American dream. So once you have like at least a 5, you have 5 stars, something like that. You have at least they know for a fact. Like
then that's where you have your chance to make a big money and then scam somebody.
Yeah. So remember, just listen to me. If it's $1,000 and you want it, just buy it.
Don't buy it. All right, guys, we're gonna cut it out right there. It was a good chat. It was a good conversation. I hope you learned something. You say yes.
Yeah.
I don't know shit.
I
just want more toys.
Yeah, I know. We wanted to talk about the economy and how other stuff were like.
We can talk about the next time.
We can talk about it on the next one. But shit, it's just to get into a new line. It's just sometimes very, very, sometimes frustrating. Sometimes it's very interesting to me. I live up for finding a new interested toy line because kind of like I get kind of depressed whenever I'm like I'm done with this line and I don't have anything in specific that I want to continue at, or like I'm not done with all the lines, but kind of like
close to
I have what I want to, and then whenever you don't have anything, like but once you find something, it's just like
it excites you.
Yeah, it excites you. Like you're just reborn. Like, and that's how I am right now with Killer. It's a smaller toy line, but just gives you a different
it's a little rush. But once you get them on the next day, you'll be like,
and probably after this, I'll probably get more into. And I have a few Mad Balls. I'll probably go back to Mad Balls or whatever. Like, but right now, it's an excitement to have something to hunt for. Definitely. Anyways, so thank you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, Isaias.
Thank you guys. Comment and yeah,
like
the video, everything, the whole thing. Please.
Thank you, Carlos.
Please,
brother.
Whatever.
Thank you guys. Like I said, comment, like it, hit the bell, all that. You know what to do. Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah.